Doug, did the Yankees overpay?
Well, they probably did because, listen, he's 30 years old. You're never going to have the year he had again. The back end of that contract probably will not work out. It very rarely does for these big free agents who sign these big contracts, but they had no choice. And this is not about, and I love Buster, and he did a great job confirming it. This is not about Brian Cashman. This is not about Brian Cashman's discipline. This is about the owner. Hal Steinbrenner, who just gave Cashman a 4-year extension, by the way, he's been there for 100 years. Hal Steinbrenner is not beloved by the Yankee fan. He's not George Steinbrenner, who's going to do everything he can to win. He has not proved that he's got that in his persona. He had to re-sign him. I don't care if it was $460 million. He had no choice. 20 years, he had no choice. He actually offered his captaincy up, which is something that the Yankees have always cherished, who the Yankee captains are. Lou Gehrig and Derek Jeter. That's all you needed. Thurman Munson. That's all you need to know. And he wanted to give Judge the captaincy. He could not, under any circumstances, let Judge go. He would have had blood on his hands that you wouldn't believe. He would have not been able to walk into his own stadium. He would have been booed out of the building. And he knew that. Give him credit for that. And no matter what the Giants offered, no matter what the Padres offered, they were going to match it. And then the issue became this. Was Judge annoyed to such a degree, based on the Yankee negotiations in April when they made the public reference to the $213 million, which he declined at the time, and put the fans and media against him? Was that going to be enough, and the fact he's from California, to move Judge to the West Coast? That's what this became. Well, I didn't know that answer. Nobody did. They were going to match the contract. The question is, was Judge going to be in a situation where he said, the hell with the Yankees? They screwed me around here in April. They made me look bad. I love San Francisco or San Diego. Anyway, I'm leaving. That was obviously not the case. And somebody told me last night who would know, and I hate to play this who told you game, just word around lobbies, let's put it that way, that the one thing that was very interesting here, and I don't know if Stephen A. had heard this, and I hadn't heard it, is that Judge's parents love the idea that he's a Yankee. Just like Jeter's parents did. We all saw Jeter's parents at those games all the time. You saw the Judge's parents there when he's chasing 62. They love the monuments. They love coming to Yankee Stadium. They love the fact that he's part of that issue with Ruth Gehrig and all these great Yankees.
Could you not?
And they love that. And I think maybe that swayed him a little bit. You know what? Geez, I could have a monument out there with the all-time greats. If I stay here, they're going to give me the same amount of money. Bygones be bygones. I'm going to stay in New York. So I think all that played into it. I think it's good for baseball, good for the Yankees, bad for the Giants. But baseball and the Yankees and him, I think he made the right call. That's me.
Well, first of all, let's get this out the way. Aaron Judge clearly made the right decision. I mean, do you want to be baseball's version of Mr. Irrelevant? Go from being the home run king to going to San Francisco and everybody forgetting about you? Because the one thing we all know you're not is Barry Bonds. That's right, I said it. He ain't Barry Bonds. He ain't never going to beat Barry Bonds. Let's be very, very clear about that, even though I love Aaron Judge. He stayed in the right place because it is the greatest franchise in the history of sports. 27 World Series championship. The only reason New Yorkers don't mind driving on the Cross Bronx Expressway. Only reason we don't mind. Because right to our right or to our left, we see Yankee Stadium, okay? That's what we see. All right, that's what it's all about. If Yankee Stadium wasn't there, it'd be like just a hole in the place of crying out loud. It's Yankee Stadium. It stands for everything, all right? So we get that part. But here's the reality of the situation, doggy, and I have to go here. I have profound respect and appreciation for Brian Cashman, the general manager for the New York Yankees since 1998. I would remind you that Steinbrenner, the Joe Torres of the world, the Bob Watsons of the world, who was the predecessor to Brian Cashman, had everything to do with those titles that took place. You understand? 96, 98, all of this other stuff, all right? Those were the ones that had the title. That's what that was about, okay? Now, Brian Cashman came into the mix. He started off as an intern and all of this other stuff. I get the story. You've been there 24 years now as the general manager. In the last 13 years, you haven't even been to the World Series. And repeatedly, it's for one reason above all else. Mad Dog Russo, you're a baseball historian, and I'll give you permission to go into the past if you like. I can go to the past as well, but not like you. Okay, because I remember the days of Ron Guidry, Goose Gossage, and the crew. You understand what I'm saying? I remember all of this stuff. All right, Chris Chambliss and Greg Nettles and Mickey Rivers. I remember it all. Willie Randolph, the whole bit. Let me ask you this question, doggy, albeit rhetorically. When is the last time the Yankees went into the postseason with unquestionably the best pitching staff or even the best pitcher who was the ace in baseball? These are the New York Yankees.
That's a very,
and what I'm saying to you is this. I'm saying to you this. It could be DeGrom. I'm not talking about right now because I understand he was overpaid by Texas, and I get that. He's never going to go through 5 years because his health, he was always injured. Here's my issue, doggy. When you look at the New York Yankees, every single year after year after year, the ace that's there to shut it down in a 7-game series, that you can pencil in for a game 1, a game 4, a game 7, is never on the New York Yankees. Why? Why?
Yeah, see,
that's my point.
See Sabathia.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.